This episode where Jack leaves and joins the Black Dragons wasn't the first time he left. In the very first episode, he left after finding out Rudy lied to him. Back then it was only a part of the storyline, but this time the whole episode was based on Jack leaving. It starts with seeing the Wasabi Warriors make it into the Battle of the Dojos tournament, and then an old student from the dojo returns. His name is Carson Hunter, and everybody is excited for his return. Jack feels a bit left out because unlike everyone else, he has no memories from when Carson was a student of the dojo. Kim then reveals that Carson is rejoining the dojo, and they end up going to Falafel Phil's to celebrate. I always found it weird that Kim was happy to see Carson because in the first episode when Kim was with the Black Dragons, she tells Jack how the Bobby Wasabi Dojo is nothing but wimps and never had anything nice to say about them. The rivalry between the Black Dragons and the Wasabi Warriors went back a couple of years, so them being from rival dojos, I doubt Carson and Kim would have been hanging out alone. So that's why I never really understood why Kim was excited for Carson's return, but let's get back to the video. The kids are in school and begin playing with the lockers to make a little beat, but Jack comes in and accidentally ruins it. The vibe is ruined and everybody leaves, but Jack stops Kim and tells her he can't go to Rockcello with her, but Carson is secretly hearing, and you can tell he's plotting. Later at the dojo, Jack with Rudy are practicing, and then Kim with Carson walk in. Jack finds out Kim and Carson went to Rockcello together and even dance together. Jack clearly doesn't like this. Kim then says Carson was actually the one who taught her how to dance. But once again, I don't understand when Kim and Carson used to hang out if she hated the Bobby Wasabi Dojo. Jack tells Kim and Carson to stop dancing because he needs to get back to practicing. While watching him, Carson starts throwing shots. So Jack says him and Carson should spar to see who's better and that the winner will represent the dojo in the tournament. Jack and Carson begin sparring with the bow staffs, and it's a good match, but Carson wins by breaking Jack's bow staff in half. Because of this, Carson will be the one representing the dojo at the tournament. Later, while it fills, Jack tells the gang that he's suspicious of Carson's victory. Milton and Jerry think he's just embarrassed about losing, but Jack thinks Carson cheated because Carson used his own bow staff and not one from the dojo. Kim asks Jack if he's only accusing Carson of cheating because he took her to the dance. Jack says that's not the reason. The kids then leave, but Jack stays, and we see that Ty from the Black Dragons was overhearing the whole time. He goes up to Jack and tries to convince Jack to switch over to the Black Dragons. Jack says no, but Ty tells him that if he joins, then he can get revenge on Carson at the tournament.
Restore your reputation, and most importantly, our geese would really make your eyes pop.
Gotta go.
While Carson and Rudy are practicing, Jack goes back to the dojo and Carson starts antagonizing him.
Really? I was good enough to take back my dojo, my friends, and even Kim. And all I had to do was use a weighted bow staff.
Jack tells Carson he's going to tell everybody he cheated, but Carson says no one will believe him and they will just think he's a sore loser. Jack tells Rudy that Carson cheated, but Rudy doesn't believe him, and this makes Jack walk out. The tournament then begins, and when the Black Dragons get introduced, we see Jack with Ty. Everybody looks confused. Jack tells them that their friend Carson is a cheater, but since nobody believed him, he's now going to prove it. Carson and Jack begin their match. Jack is winning, but Carson calls for a timeout. While in the timeout, we see him putting something in his fist wraps, but Kim catches him. She goes and tells Jack, but he tells Kim that he's got this and doesn't look worried. The match continues, but Carson lands an illegal strike. Because of this, Jack wins the match, but Jack tells the ref that he doesn't want to win like that. They keep fighting, and Jack exposes the way Carson was cheating in the match. Rudy sees it and tells Carson that he's no longer welcome at the dojo. The kids then apologize to Jack for not believing him, and Rudy asks if there's any way they can convince him to return to the dojo. Jack does the Wasabi Warrior chant signifying he's returning. No offense to the actor who played Carson, but he just had that grimy look from the very start. Maybe it's that he played a bad guy very good, but I knew, since the moment he first appeared, that he was going to plot on Jack. After this episode, I was expecting Carson to reappear later on, but he never did, and he was never mentioned again either. Anytime Ty appeared, I was always cracking up, because I do think Ty is one of the funniest characters in the entire show. Do you think Jack looks cooler in the Black Dragons colors or the Wasabi Warriors colors?